Okay, good evening class. Today is SNAP that we need to take it. So SNAP, I'll start with the test structure that is being followed in SNAP for the last few years. This test duration is of 120 minutes for this examination. It has 4 sections: General English, Quantitative, Data Interpretation and Data Sufficiency, General Awareness, and Analytical and Logical Reasoning for this. 40 questions in most of the sections, and analytical and logical reasoning has 60 questions, so a total of 180 questions. So this is basically an examination of your speed. The quality of questions won't be that much. The speed is what it matters, and when I cleared this examination, the out of 200 marks, the cutoff was around 117 for SIBM. So it's like it's a very high cutoff examination. So again, I'll tell, as I have already told in IFT structure, that again general awareness plays a very important role over here, because you can get 40 marks in within no time. So again, this emphasis is there, but nevertheless these 3 sections is where you can actually score, because this is the section that can give you an edge, but most of the people won't do that well in this section. So each question is of 1 marks most of the times, and 25% is the negative mark, means 1 by 4 is the negative mark for this. And some of the institutes that take through this examination are SIBM, that is the best institute under the category of Symbiosis Institutes, SIBM Pune, and then we have SCMHRD Pune. These two are the best institute under the Symbiosis. Rest are good institutes, but not up to the mark of other institutes. These two institutes continuously make their presence felt in top 20 B schools of India in most of the ratings and most of the rankings. Other than that, there are institutes which are specialized institutes, but I won't recommend you to those institutes unless until you just want to do an MBA. That's a different case. But SIBM and SCMHRD are good institute. SCMHRD especially for their HR courses. A lot of good and reputed MNCs actually prefer SCMHRD Institute for their HR. And SIBM is a holistic institute. It has marketing, HR, finance, everything is there. But still, it's one of the good institute in whole of India. And respectively, I'll say that cutoff for SIBM is the highest cutoff comes for SIBM, and then we have for SCMHRD, and then rest of the institute. That is how it happens. SCMHRD, though, it has cutoffs depending upon your profile as well. So some people with less marks as well will get a call in SCMHRD. And there are a lot more institutes: Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, Symbiosis Institute of Media and Communication, which actually take through this examination. And there's a few institutes they have opened in Bangalore as well, SIBM Bangalore, which is also a pretty decent institute. Not that good, but still you can go ahead and do an MBA from it if you don't have very good options or you don't have that many calls. Okay, that's it about Symbiosis. So we'll go ahead with the type of questions. I prepared our first set of questions. We'll have 2 classes as we have for IFT or other examination for this. So first class, as I've already followed till now, that it will be more on quant section, and the second class will more be upon the DI and logical reasoning questions. So any question about the institute or test structure, you can ask me on the chat window. So I'll say that written examination is of very much importance for this, because just 15% is the weightage of their interview or GD is it hardly makes a difference. If you have a very good snap score, then you can easily get into any of the Symbiosis institutes. Yeah, the difficulty level for this is, I won't say as much as of NMAT. NMAT and Snap are more or less the same level, but I'll say that Snap is 20 and this is 19, so it's a little lesser than NMAT also. But here the speed is the king, so you have to do questions, but doing questions with the speed, that is going to make a lot of difference. Individual question I'll take afterwards. So we'll go ahead with the questions. Meanwhile, I'll try to respond each one of you through the chat window. Some of the reservation policy which actually follows for most of the institute, but being a uh, private institute, it has certain more limitations of these things that it won't include OBC and other quotas, so that is how it takes. So SIMS, there is a college, Symbiosis of Management Studies. It has a reservation for all the people who have a army background, or their father or their parents have an army background. So let's go ahead with the questions today. I'll all mail these questions. I'll mail the test structure also. I think you have already received the question sheet for today's session. So let's go ahead with the questions. Oops, solutions came first. So this is the questions that we have today. So today what I have done is I have prepared 20 questions rather than 15. I have for all those who have not received it, it's not a problem. The questions for all those who have not received it, you can take a screenshot of it. It's not a problem. And I'll try to copy and paste it in the chat window as well. It's not a problem. So today what we'll do is we'll do it fast. We'll do it as Snap wants us to do it. So we'll be going fast. I'll give you 5 questions and I'll give you 5 minutes to solve it. Okay guys, so first 5 question, 5 minutes to solve it. So that is what the speed expectation in Snap. So first 5 questions, come on. Right now it's 8:15. 8:20 we'll review these 5 questions. I'll put it on chat window as well to all of you. So for all those who have not received the question paper, you can take from the chat window or you can take a screenshot of it. Okay guys, your time starts now. A suggestion for this examination: try to brush up all those time and distance, prime number, these type of things. Uh, these are actually uh, the questions that are being asked in volumes in this examination, and the basic concepts of geometry, those will actually help you a lot in this examination. Okay, people. Okay, guys. Time is up. Now we'll review these 5 questions. So first question is: in a retail outlet, the average revenue for 10,000 was rupees 10,000 per day over a 30-day period. During this period, the average daily revenue on weekends, a total of 8 days, was 20,000 per day. What was the average daily revenue on the weekdays? It's a pretty simple plus minus question. 30 into 10,000, that is 30,000, and the revenue on weekend 8 into 20,000, that is 1,60,000. Revenue for all 22 days other than that was 1,40,000, and 1,40,000, and for 22 days it is, so divided by 22, which will be 6,364. So 6,364 is option 1. We'll go ahead and mark option 1. Vivek has got it right. Veenal has got it right. So we'll go ahead and mark option 1. So question number 2. It's a very tricky question, but very easy question. Two different prime numbers x and y both are greater than 2. Which of the following must be true? Okay. First is x minus y is equal to 23. You know, if the prime number is greater than 2, it will always be an odd number. And the difference of two odd numbers will always be a even number. So x minus y is equal to 23 cannot be an option. Second one is x plus y is not equal to 87. So x plus y is what? Two odd numbers. The sum of two odd numbers will always be a even number. It's not equal to 87 or any even or any odd number, which will always be true. Now the third option is both 1 and 2, and fourth option is none of the above. So obviously we'll go ahead and mark option 2. That has been given, option 2. Mugna has got it right. Vivek has got it right. Veenal, you need to check it once again. I think you missed out on this. Is not equal to. So question number 3. It is a simple time distance question. It takes 6 hours for a pump A used alone to fill a tank of water. Pump B used alone takes 8 hours to fill the same tank. A, B and another pump C all together fill the tank in 2 hours. How long it will take for C used alone to fill the tank? So what it has been given that 6 hours for pump A used alone to fill the tank, pump B 8 hours, and A and B and C all three in 2 hours. So it's simple, 1 by 2 minus 1 by 8 minus 1 by 6. So it is 1 by 6, 1 by 8 and 1 by x. So it's like 1 by x is equal to 1 by 2 minus 1 by 8 minus 1 by 6. So there's a different and very easy method to solve this. What you can do is, it's 6, 8 and 2. So what is the LCM of it? LCM of it is 8 into 3, that is 24. So we can assume that 24 is the total work. So 1 minute work of this will be 4, this will be 3, and C will be 12. Total will be 12. So 12 work has to be done. 3 and 7. 3 and 4, 7 has been done. So what is left? 12 minus 7, that is 5. And total work was 24. So 24 by 5 will be done by x. So easily you can get 4.8. Okay. Now we'll go ahead. So option 1, 4.8 hours. So we'll go ahead and mark option 1. Deep has got it right. Mogna has got it right. Vivek has got it right. Veenal has got it right. So most of you are getting it right. But again, I'll reiterate the fact that here speed is what the matters. Questions are easy, but you need to do it with a very fast speed. Okay, fourth question. A swimming pool can be filled by a pipe A in 3 hours, by pipe B in 6 hours. Each pump working on its own at 9 a.m. Pump A started. At what time will the swimming pool be filled if the pump B started at 10 a.m.? Okay, same question as question 3. So more or less a little tricky thing. Pipe A can fill the pool in 3 hours. Pipe B can fill the pool in 6 hours. Pump A starts at 9 and pump B starts at 10. So A fills alone for 1 hour. So we'll take the work of A for 1 hour. And A and B fill for n hours after 10. So we don't know n. Now we need to calculate n. 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3. 1 by 3 plus n into 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6 is equal to 1. 1 is the total work. So we can calculate n is equal to 4 by 3, that is 1 hour and 20 minutes. So 1 hour 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. So after 10 o'clock 1 hour 20 minutes. So we'll add 1 hour 20 minutes to 10, that will be 11:20. So at 11:20 the pool will be filled. So what is the 11:20? 11:20 is option number 1. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 1. Question number 5. Question number 5 is sum of prime numbers that are greater than 60 but less than 70 is. Again, a very easy question. You know what all are greater than 60 and less than 70? Only two prime numbers, 61 and 67. So you have to sum it and write it. 61 plus 67 is 128. We have option 128? Yes, we have option number 1. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 1 as 128. Mogna has got it right. Manjusa has got it right. Deep has got it right. A lot of you are getting it right. Vivek has got it right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and solve next 5 questions. Next 5 questions, question number 6 to question number 10. So again, I'll give you 5 minutes to solve these questions. So question number 6 to question number 10. Question number 6 to question number 10. So I've put it on a chat window, question number 6 to question number 10. For those who have not got it, you can use this. For those who have got it, use your PDF document. So now the time is 8:28. Make it 8:29. So we'll go ahead and review at 8:35. Okay. Try to do it fast and try to be as accurate as possible. I know you can't be 100% accurate, but try to increase your speed along with your accuracy. That will actually go a long way in solving these questions. Okay guys, time is up. Most of you are getting it right and doing it with speed, so it looks nice that you have prepared for this examination. So again, if you have prepared well for CAT, SNAP is not that a big deal. You can easily crack SNAP, and just you have to keep in mind that GK is also a big part of SNAP. Okay, we'll go ahead and solve question 6 to 10. Question 6 is find out the appropriate next number of the series. So is 0, 2, 6, 6, 12, 20, 30, 42. So what we can see? Okay, here it is 2, here it is 4, then here it is 6, then here it is 8. Okay, now we are finding a pattern. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So next will be 14. So 14 plus 42, 14 plus 42 will be the next number, that is 56. So 56 is, we have option, 56 is which option? 56 is option number 1. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 1. What we have in the solution? Solution also we have the same thing. Difference between the two consecutive numbers is this. So 14 plus 42 is 56. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 1. Okay, then we have question number 7. Question number 7 is a bakery opened its daily supply of 40 dozen rolls. Again, remember, dozen, scores. So don't misread these things. You need to reread always. They actually give this question, this thing, only to confuse you. Sometimes they will give a score, sometimes the dozen. They'll give in dozen, ask in score, or give in score, ask in dozen. So this happens. So this is, you need to read the question properly. That is the only clue over here. A bakery opened its daily supply of 40 dozen rolls. Half of the rolls were sold by noon and 60% of the remaining were sold between 12 and closing time. So 40 dozen roll, half were sold by noon, so half of it is 20. So 20 were already sold. So 20 were already sold, and 60% of the remaining, what was left? Remaining was 20. So 60% of it was sold between noon and the closing time. So what is left was 40% of it. 40% of it is 0.4 into this. What it is? 8. So what is the option? Okay, we have second option as 8. So we have option 2. Option 2. So we'll go ahead and mark option 2. 8 is the right answer. We'll go ahead and mark option 2. One more piece of advice over here. Sometimes what happens is, see, in a lot of hurry, here the options are 6. For option 1 it is 6, option 2 is 8, option 3 is 10, option 4 is 12. So sometime what will happen is, option 1 is 2, option 2 is 3, option 3 is 4, option 4 is 2, something like this. So you get our answer as 2. You get our answer as 2, and instead of marking answer 2, you mark option 2. So that should not happen. That will cause you a lot. Okay, we'll go ahead with question number 8. Stuart, Jack and Leo are colleagues working in a plant. Stuart and Jack can do a work in 10 days. Jack and Leo can do the same work in 15 days, while Stuart and Leo can do it in 12 days. All of them started the work together. After 2 days, Leo was shifted to some other work. How many days will Stuart and Jack take to finish the rest of the work? So Stuart and Jack, 1 by S by 1 by J is equal to 1 by 10. So 1 by J plus 1 by L is given as 1 by 15. 1 by S plus 1 by L is given 1 by 12. So we can calculate, this is the way we are calculating the total work of, for these Stuart, Jack and Leo. So in 4 days they will, so in 8 days, here we have calculated in 8 days all 3 of them can work. So now we have calculated, okay, in 1 day 1/8 of our work will be done. Now for 2 days they work together, after which Leo left. So 2 days, how much work will be completed? 1 by 4. So 2 into 1 by 4. And for the rest of them 1 by 10, that is Stuart and Jack has to do the rest of the work. So less work has to be done in 1 by 10. So 1 by 2 into 1 by 8 plus n into 1 by 10 is equal to 1. So we can easily calculate n is equal to 7.5 days. So we have 7.5. Yeah, we have our option 4 as 7.5. So we'll go ahead and mark option 7.5. Okay, now we'll move ahead. Question number 9. The missing number in below series would be 1:1, 8:4, 9:27, 64:16, 25:125, 49:. Okay, something is there. Square and cube. Something is there to do with this. Okay, let's see what happened. What is there? Nth term of the series, n is odd, then n2 is equal to n2 is to n3. If n is even, then nth term is equal to n3 is to n2. So that is how it is happening. So what will be the sixth term? 6 cube is to 6 square. That will happen. So 6 cube is to 6 square, that is 216 is to 36. Let me again tell you what is happening. So n square is to n cube is happening if n is odd. N is odd here, so n square is to n cube, 1. For 2, n is even, so n cube is to n square. N cube is 8 and n square is 4. Again n is odd here. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. For every odd number, they are taking n square is to n cube. For every even number, they are taking n cube is to n square. That is what is happening. So this we need to find out. So this is an even number, so it will be n cube is to n square. So here n cube is 6 cube is to 6 square. So 6 cube is to 6 square is 216 is to 36. So what is 216 is to 36? We have an option. Yeah, we have an option. Option 2. We'll go ahead and mark option 2 as a right answer. 10th question. The difference between the value of a number increased by 25% and the value of original number decreased by 30% is 22. What is the original number? So there are 2 ways to do this question. One, you consider the number to be x and solve this. That is what the normal way is. So we will consider the number to be x. We'll go ahead and say that 25% of we are increasing it by 25%, so 1.25x. And now we are decreasing by 30%, that is 0.7x. So the difference between this is 0.55x, which is given as 22. So we can easily calculate x is equal to 22 upon 0.55. 22 upon 0.55 is 40. So x is equal to 40. We can go ahead and mark x is equal to 40. The other question is, the other thing is, what we can do is, we can go with the options. So it is saying that number is increased by 25%, number is decreased by 30%. So some of them cannot be even decreased by 30%. So 65 is easily out, because if you are taking 30%, it will become decimal thing. So decimal is not allowed, because here it is whole numbers which are being taken into consideration. Again, if you are taking 90, you can actually put in the numbers and solve. That is also the second way you can go ahead and solve it. Okay, I think you have understood what is happening till now. So let's go ahead with question number 11 to 15. 11 to 17 maybe, because we have 14 to 17 questions together. So 11 to 17 questions, I'll give you let's say 10 minutes to solve these 7 questions. So right now it is 8:46. So at around 8:47, 8:48, we'll go and review these questions. Okay, what I've done is I've pasted some of the questions from 11 to 17 in the chat window. For all those who have the questions, you can go ahead with your PDF, or if you don't have the questions, you can. Okay, if you are not able to see in the chat window, you can take a screenshot from here. Okay, then I'll review it, all the questions at 9. Okay guys, time is up. So question number 11, we'll go ahead and review. Running at the same constant rate, 6 identical machines can produce a total of 180 bottles per hour. How many bottles could 15 such identical machines can produce in 30 minutes? So again, simple time work question. 6 machine, 180 bottles per hour. So one machine, how much? 30 bottles per hour or 15 bottles per 30 minutes. So now 15 machines are working, so 15 into 15, that is 225 bottles per hour. So what is 225? 225 is option number 1. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 1. Question number 12. A number whose fifth part is increased by 5 is equal to its fourth part diminished by 10. So x by 4 plus x by 5 plus 4 is equal to x by 4 plus 10. So this will be the equation. X by 5 plus 4 is equal to x plus 4 minus 10. So again, solve this equation, solve for value of x. X is equal to 12 into 20 into 14, that is 280. What is option number 280? 280 is option number 4. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 4. Again, one thing, again you can go ahead and check with the answers only. 280, it's written by 4 and by 5. So by 4, so this option is already out. This option is also out. By 4 you cannot do these two options. So this will be a point number. So these two, sorry, not this. This option you can easily eliminate, that this cannot be an option because by 4 you cannot calculate. Okay. We have question number 13. Which one of the following numbers will completely divide this number? So 461 plus 62 plus 63 plus 64. So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4, 10. So obviously 10 will easily divide this number. What do we have in solution? Similarly, yeah, 1850, so 10 divides. And this also, this way also, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4, 10. Easily 10 can divide. So what is option? Option number 2. We'll go ahead and mark option number 2. Then we have question number 14 to 17. Here the question is mark 1 if the statement alone, 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. Question number 2, data sufficiency questions these are. So question number 2, if statement 2 alone is sufficient, then mark option 2. If both 1 and 2 alone, both 1 and 2 together are necessary to answer the question, then mark option 3 and 4. If both statements 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question. Okay, first is B positive? Now we have two statements. First is A plus B is positive, A minus B is positive. So for B to be positive, A plus B is positive. So use numbers. A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3. So 5 plus 3, 8 is positive. 5 minus 3, 2 is equal to positive. So if A is equal to 5 and B is equal to minus 3, then 5 minus 3, 2 is positive, and 5 plus 3, 8 is positive. So thus B can be positive or negative irrespective of what the sign of A plus B and A minus B take. So hence the answer question cannot be answered using statement 1 alone or statement 2 alone. Got it? So we'll take both the statements together. A plus B plus A minus B is positive. That means 2A is positive. It will be possible only when A is positive. Using this statement as an argument, we still cannot say what is the sign of B. Obviously, we can say only the sign of A. So option 4. So option 4 is both statements are not together to solve this question. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 4. In a general body election, 3 candidates PQR were contesting for a membership of the board. How many votes did each receive? P received 17 votes more than Q and 103 votes more than R. Total votes cast were 1703. These are two statements. So we'll see that what happens. So question number 15. PQR receive votes less small p, small q and small r. So P is equal to Q plus 17 is given and P is equal to R plus 103. But absolute numbers we have to calculate. We cannot calculate absolute numbers over here. So this alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Now second is a pretty straight question. Pretty straight statement. Total votes is 1703. Now breakup is not given. How can you calculate that how much PQ or R received votes? So this also is not sufficient to answer the question. Now we'll combine these two statements. So we now know the total number of votes and we now know the relation between P and Q and P and R. So we can actually add these two equations and we can get 3P minus 120, that is equal to 1703. So 1703, so we can calculate how much P got. So using both the statements we are able to find out how much vote were received by P. So if you know how much is received by P, you know how much received by Q and how much received by R through these two statements. So we can actually find out how much each of the contestants received the votes. So using these two statements we are able to find the answer of it. So we can go ahead and mark option number 3. What is question number 16? If C1 and C2 are the circumferences of outer and inner circles respectively, what is C1 is to C2? Okay. Now the first statement is the two circles are concentric. Okay. So what we can do with this? Nothing we can do with this. So statement 1 mentions that they are concentric circles, but what is the radius? Radius has not been mentioned. So how we can calculate? We cannot calculate the ratio of C1 is to C2. Now the second is what is the second statement? The area of the ring is 2/3 the area of greater circle. Okay, that should be sufficient to answer the question. Area of ring upon area of greater circle is 2/3. Area of ring will be what? Area of ring will be area of outer circle minus area of inner circle, that is pi greater r square minus small r square, and upon area of greater circle pi into greater r square, which is equal to 2/3. So r by r we can easily calculate is √3/1. So now we have to calculate C1 is to C2. C1 is to C2 is nothing. R by r is same as C1 is to C2. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 2. So option 2, only with this statement we are able to answer this statement. We are able to answer the question. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 2. What is the question number 17? What is the middle number of 7 consecutive whole numbers? Okay, there are 7 consecutive whole numbers. Whole numbers start with 0 also. So first statement is product of the number is this. Okay, so product of the number is 702800. So obviously it didn't start with 0. So we'll see whether first statement was enough or not. So let the number be this, as usual what we follow in APCDs: n minus 3, n minus 2, n minus 1, n plus 1, n plus 2 and n plus 3. Using a statement alone, first we get this. So n square minus 9, n square minus 4 into n square minus 1 into n is this. Now we have to take trial and error. So if we take n is equal to 7, we get a product 604800, while we take n is equal to 8, we get a product this. So for hence there exists no whole number such that the given condition holds true. Okay. Now we are taking the second equation. Second equation is what? Second is sum of the numbers is 104, 5. Sum of these numbers is 105. So n is equal to 15. Hence the question can be solved by using statement 2 alone. So there is no option for questions which can be solved only using either of the statements. So we don't have an option that whole of the numbers can be solved. So it's like we don't have an option here that it can be solved by A or B. So what we can do is we can go ahead and mark any options. This question will be scrapped anyway, so it's not a problem. So we don't have any options for this. Okay, one valid point was raised by one observation was raised by Akhil that for this question what I did was the area of the ring is 2 by 3 the area of the greater circle. He is saying that where it is written that it is concentric. I want to ask, how can it be that if they are not concentric, there can be a ring formed? Ring can be formed only when they are concentric. So that we can use. The area of the ring is 2 by 3 of the area of the greater circle. Okay, question number 17, there is a confusion. So what I'll do is I'll do it again. So question number 17, what is the middle number of 7 consecutive whole numbers? So 7 consecutive whole numbers we have considered to be n minus 3, n minus 2, n minus 1, n plus 1, n plus 2, and n plus 3. So this is the product, and the product has been given as this. So we are taking n is equal to 7, we are getting a product is this. Well, we are taking n is equal to 8, so we are getting a product is this. So we are not finding any number, which actually solves this equation. So this cannot be done. So this cannot be solved only with 1. So we'll go ahead and with statement 2 we'll go ahead. So we'll go ahead and statement this. So n minus 3, n minus 2, n plus 1, this sum is given at 105. So n is equal to 15. So this can be solved with 2 alone. Okay. So with 2 alone we can solve this equation. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 2. Before I have said that there is no option, I think there was a mistake here. They have written it wrongly. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 2. Hope you have got it. All right. Okay, question number 18. 220. I'll give you next 3 minutes to solve this question, and your time starts now. Guys, We'll go ahead with next three questions and we'll solve it. Question number 18. 66 cubic meters of silver is drawn into a wire of 1 millimeter diameter. The length of the wire in meters will be. Okay. So the radius of the wire is 0.05 centimeter. That has been given. As the volume of the silver wire is 66 cubic centimeters. So it's 66 into pi into 0.05 whole square into L. And is given L is equal to 8400 centimeter. That we can easily solve it. Okay. So L will be 84 centimeter. 84 meters, sorry. L will be 84 meters. A train 108 meter long moving at a speed of 50 km per hour crosses a train 112 meter long coming from opposite direction in 6 seconds. What is the speed of the second train? So if they are going in different direction, the speed will be sum of those x plus y, and the distance will be 108 plus 112, that will be 220. 220 meter is being 220 meter is being crossed in 6 seconds by a speed of 50 plus x. Now x, we can go ahead and solve it. X will be 82 km per hour. So this is the equation. We'll go ahead and solve this equation. Solve for x. X is 82 km per hour. What is 82 km per hour? We have option number 4. So we'll go ahead and mark option number 4 as 82 km per hour. What is 20th question? This is the last question for the day. R is a positive number. It is multiplied by 8 and then squared. The square is now divided by 4 and the square root is being taken. What is the value of Q? So it's saying that divide by 8 r whole square by 4, then a square root has been taken and it is given as Q. Q is equal to 64 r square by 4. If you solve it, it's 16 r square. 16 is r square under root is 4r. So Q is equal to 4r. So we have a 4r option. Yes, we have a 4r option. Option is option 2. We'll go ahead and mark option number 2. Mogna has got it right. Ankit has already got it right. A lot of people have got it right. So a final comment, what I'll say is, I've already shared a practice test along with this test. So I've not given answers for this. If you have any problem in those questions, you can directly contact me in the next session. It's not a problem. And this question and answer sheet I've already shared with you. The question sheet I've shared, answer sheet I'll share after this this class. I'll share with you all, and that's it for the day. And anything else you want to ask, you can ask in next 2-3 minutes. So the question, that the type of question I've already shared, the questions won't be very tough, but speed is the king over here. So do it as fast as possible, but try to be as accurate as well. Okay, Ankit is asking that top 5 programs, what should he choose for SIBM? SIBM, I'll always suggest go with SIBM, SCM-HRD, then go ahead with SIMS, then SIOM, and then SIBM Bangalore. These are the 5 top colleges which you should choose if you want to do from Symbiosis. Okay then, that's it for the day. Okay guys, good night, good luck, prepare well, bye bye.